What's up, party people? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday, and I have my trusty little sidekick with me, Indigo Hope Kambada. Indigo, what would you like to do? Do you want to say hi to everybody? Here, how about you do this? Can you wave? Say hi.
Hi.
What are you eating right now? You're eating some chickpeas?
Mm-hmm.
All right, she's going to be hanging out with me as we do this show today. Indigo, how old are you? You want to tell everybody?
I'm 2.
You're 2. She's a big 2. And are you dressed as a pumpkin today? No, you're wearing your purple, your orange shirt. Okay, so we're going to be having some fun today. We're going to be talking about everything related to antioxidants and immunity. So let's put on our science hat and have some fun today. In the meantime, tell me where you're coming from, what section of the country, and then secondarily, tell me what you are doing this weekend, because the weekend's always the best part of the week. This weekend, we are actually hosting a virtual retreat. That's right. My wife, Kylie Buckner, is going to be hosting and putting together the most epic of all virtual retreats. So rather than meeting in person, we're going to be meeting online with, there's over 200 people that have been registered. It's really fun. We talk about everything related to blood glucose control and everything related to weight loss and how you can maximize both blood glucose control and weight loss for yourself today and into the future. We have a great time. Let's see here. Diane says, what a beauty. Indigo, you're a beauty. Did you know that? I know. She's a cutie. She's a cutie. Hi from Socrates. Let's see. Marilyn says hi. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Lee. Diane says hi from Socrates, New York. Type 2. Hi, Indigo and Cyrus. What's up? What's up? Good to see you here again. Kathleen says, watching from Massachusetts. Weekend plans, going to visit some family and stocking cords of wood. Wow, that sounds like fun, actually. Gathering wood is always fun. Lee, coming in from Lubbock. Taking a long weekend to finish reading the Mastering Diabetes book. I heard that book is actually pretty good. I should read that book. That sounds like a good idea. Maybe I should pick up a copy. I think it's a great idea. All right. So today we'll be talking about everything related to antioxidants, because antioxidants are important. They're an important component of your overall food supply. And it's especially important to make sure that you get a lot of antioxidants during the winter months, because that's when viruses tend to proliferate. Now, as you guys probably know, it's October, November, December, January, February. During that time, viruses, respiratory viruses in particular, the flu, the common cold, COVID, SARS, and beyond, these are all pretty prominent viruses that tend to circulate, and they tend to get transmitted from one person to another very quickly. So what you as an individual can do is try and boost your defenses such that when you come in contact with a virus, your chances of getting infected by that virus go down significantly. And even if you do get infected by that virus, then your symptomology is pretty small, and you can kind of pass that virus as your immune system sort of defends you against it, and sort of doesn't really change your quality of life. So the goal is to just try and minimize your symptomology or completely avoid getting sick in the first place. The question is, how do you do it? Okay. There's many strategies that you can employ to actually having incredible immune system health. I'm going to pull them up on my screen, and then we can kind of walk through them one by one, because there's some really powerful techniques that have a very, very profound effect on your immune system. Okay. Now, first things first is there are very specific immune boosting foods that you can incorporate into your diet. Indy, you want to come on the video with Daddy? No? Okay. There's immune boosting foods that you can put into your diet. And the most powerful immune boosting foods are, believe it or not, cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables are, in fact, the most powerful immune boosting, anti-inflammatory, health promoting foods that money can buy. They are twice as powerful as many other plant foods, and they include, but are not limited to, things like arugula, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, collard greens, kale, kohlrabi, anything that starts with a k, okay? Radishes, red cabbage, turnip greens, watercress, okay? If you can get these foods into your body on a somewhat daily basis, one serving is all you need, then you are significantly improving the function of your immune system. Pro tip, try and eat these vegetables as raw as possible, a wrap. Okay. The rawer these cruciferous vegetables are, the less cooked they are, the more power they're going to have inside of your blood. And as a result of that, the more immune boosting effectiveness they're going to have. In addition to that, you can also add onions and garlic because they are very potent immune boosting compounds, or they contain very potent immune boosting compounds. Now, these compounds are known as organosulfur compounds, and they're known to boost immune function, and they've been written about extensively inside of the scientific literature. Okay. What these compounds do is they actually increase the production of your own antioxidant enzymes. The antioxidants are very powerful compounds that have a very that can effectively quench free radical activity. And that's really important for you because all oxidative processes that promote aging and promote tissue dysfunction and promote inflammation are all oxidative processes. So if you can eat something or promote the production of something that can lower that oxidative process, then before you know it, now all of a sudden you are doing yourself a huge favor. All right. So let's take a quick let's go backwards. If you want to know what an antioxidant truly is, the simplest way to think about it is that antioxidants are colors. Okay. Just literally think about them as colors. That's all they are. Okay. So take a look at my skin. See my skin right here? I have sort of like medium dark colored skin. Right. The reason I have medium dark colored skin is because I express a particular pigment inside of my skin known as melanin. And melanin is expressed in my skin more than somebody who has lighter skin. So if you compare me versus Indigo, as an example, or if you compare me versus my wife, Kylie, they tend to have slightly lighter skin than me. That means that their skin produces less melanin. Why is that important? Here's why. Because when I go out into the sun, when all of us go out into the sun, you experience UV radiation. Okay. You get photons of light from the sun. The UV radiation hits your skin, and that UV radiation can go directly inside of cells, and it can go directly to DNA, and it can actually cause a strand break inside of DNA, which becomes problematic. Okay. If the DNA in any cell is compromised, then the cell may commit suicide. And if the cell commits suicide, then it basically dies. Another thing that can happen is that it can damage DNA, and that DNA can then propagate itself by replicating. And before you know it, now you have a whole collection of cells that have unstable DNA, and that can lead to a tumor. And that's not necessarily what you're looking for. Okay. So if you go out into the sun and the sun hits you with UV radiation, and the UV radiation damages DNA, then the question becomes, well, how do I block myself from experiencing that DNA damage? The answer is melanin. Okay. The reason why my skin produces just a little bit more melanin is because my skin is trying to protect itself from UV radiation more than somebody else who has less melanin. So the darker your skin, the more UV radiation you can withstand, because the melanin is there to literally protect DNA against UV radiation. I hope this is making sense. Why does this matter? Okay. The reason this matters is because the color inside of my skin is a way that you can visually determine how much melanin is present. And because melanin is a pigment, technically speaking, I possess more antioxidants inside of my skin because antioxidants are also pigments. What that means is that if you go out into nature and you look at a tomato has a very deep red color. The deep red color is given to it by a whole collection of antioxidants. And those antioxidants do the exact same thing. They block it from being damaged by the sun. Grapes have a different color because they also protect themselves from the sun using different pigments. Squashes have different color. Mangoes have different color. Corn has different color. Okay. Every single fruit and vegetable that you can think of that's grown out and exposed to the sun has to find a way to protect itself against too much UV radiation, because otherwise it will damage the DNA inside that plant and it will die. So the antioxidants are the same. The pigments that they use to block UV radiation are antioxidants. And that's a good thing for you, because when you eat those foods that have high antioxidant content, that means that those antioxidants can get inside of your blood and you can effectively absorb some of their antioxidizing power. Tell me if this is making sense. Please go into the chat box and just write the word yes if it's making sense. If it's not for whatever reason, then tell me something else. Say no, and I can try and re-explain this. But the idea here is that humans, mammals, we produce pigments inside of our skin to protect against the sun. And fruits and vegetables do the exact same thing. So you, as the user, want to do what you can to try and eat the foods that have the highest antioxidant content, aka have the most pigments, because pigments are good for you. All right. So if we continue on this train of thought, I see there's a couple of people in the chat box saying yes, yes, yes. So Diane says yes. Roxanne says yes. Okay. Tell me if anybody's confused, then by all means, let me know. Okay. So we talked about onions and garlic. We talked about cruciferous vegetables. There's also some other really powerful foods that you can consume, including, but not limited to, turmeric. Turmeric has one of the most powerful antioxidants in food. And the name of that antioxidant is called curcumin. Okay. You've probably read about it on the news. You've probably seen it in the newspaper. Okay. Turmeric is very powerful. Get that stuff in your body as much as possible. Turmeric is so powerful that, in fact, the pigment gets inside under your fingernails. And when you like, I had some last night, and it's like literally staining my fingers orange, which is pretty awesome. Okay. Turmeric is one of the most widely studied antioxidants, and it's very easily added to any of the foods that you are consuming. You could use it as a powder. You can get the spice world, or you can actually go get the actual root. It looks like a ginger root, but it's actually deep orange. And you can take that and you can grate it on some of your food and eat that, and you get very powerful, antioxidant activity. Then, of course, there's amla berries. Amla berries are our favorite because amla berries are actually the #1 most powerful antioxidant containing food ever discovered by human beings. You can rank order antioxidants by how much free radical quenching activity they have. And if you do that, you put amla berries are at the very, very, very top of that scale. Underneath that is turmeric. Underneath that is acai berries. Underneath that is black raspberries. And the list goes on. So all these foods that you think are high in antioxidants are, but in comparison with amla berries usually have somewhere between 5 to 10 to sometimes 100x as much antioxidant power as a lot of the foods that you commonly find in the grocery store. That's why we made the amla green tea. That's why we made amla green coffee, because when you put amla berries into your body on a daily basis, you can boost your antioxidant intake. That boosts the function of your immune system. And it can also help you lower your cholesterol, your blood pressure, and your blood glucose simultaneously. All right. So take a look at the screen right here. Bess is sharing with you some of the teas and coffees that we sell. So on the very left-hand side of the screen, you'll see that there's amla green coffee. That's our newest addition to the product line. And people have been writing back to me telling me that they love the coffee flavor. So if you're a coffee drinker and you want to have the world's tastiest coffee, or the world's healthiest coffee, I should say, pick up a bag of that stuff, because trust me, the antioxidant power is like no other coffee you've ever tasted. Then in addition to that, there's a whole collection of other antioxidant containing, amla berry containing teas. The one that I want to focus your attention on is the one on the right, the purple one. The purple one is the elderberry flavor. So if you wouldn't mind clicking on that one, Bess. That one is specifically designed to improve the function of your immune system. If you haven't picked up some of this before, it's really tasty. Okay. It's got elderberries, mint, cinnamon, ginger, and amla berries all packed into one tea. You take one scoop, you put it into a glass of water. You can put it in a smoothie, in a mocktail, in a tea. You can put it wherever you want and drink it on a daily basis. And you get the power of amla berries in your diet on a daily basis. And they can have very, very, very potent effects at boosting your immune function. Okay. Diane says, amla coffee, and of course the tea for sure. This is one of my favorite flavors of all. The elderberry flavor is very good. And during COVID, when that was a big deal, elderberries were being talked about as one of the most sort of easily accessible immune boosting foods around. We did a bunch of research into it and found that, in fact, yes, there's a lot of research behind it. So we concocted a flavor that has elderberries plus amla berries in it to give you that extra antioxidant punch. Okay. Now, Diane has a question. She says, I know this is off topic, but if you can you just mention some fruits and vegetables that are especially good for reducing inflammation? Just had my full knee replacement last week and want to help reduce excess inflammation. Thank you. Okay. Diane, this is a great question. I'm just trying to think if there's any like particular fruits and vegetables that are going to have powerful antioxidant activity. And the answer is yes, there are. Okay. just like I was talking about, first and foremost, get some amla berries into your diet on a daily basis. If you're not already using amla green tea or amla green coffee, I would start there for sure. In addition to that, I would also try and get turmeric into your diet. Now, there's a funny, powerful combination that you can do with turmeric. Take turmeric, okay? Let's say you use, I don't know, like a quarter of a teaspoon of turmeric because it's pretty strong. I want you to take some black pepper and I want you to grind the black pepper directly on top of that turmeric and mix the two of them together. When you eat the black pepper and the turmeric together, the bioavailability of that goes up, which means you can absorb more of the curcumin. You can get more antioxidant power into your blood. So always combine black pepper with turmeric because the black pepper basically activates the turmeric and makes it that much more powerful. Okay. Marilyn says, amla teas and coffee are a daily part of my routine. Most difficult decision is what flavor of tea? It's a tough decision. I don't know how to advise you. So, Bess, do me a favor. Could you show the there's a free guide that I want to give you guys today. It's called the Pumpkin Guide. Okay. And the pumpkin recipe guide is really tasty because it's got a whole collection of recipes that are pumpkin flavored. Okay. And this ultimate pumpkin recipe guide is yours for free just because I love you. So, Bess, could you increase the size of that if you don't mind? There we go. There we go. Cool. Okay. So we're gonna walk through these kind of relatively quickly, but you see there's lattes, there's smoothies, there's foods. The first one's a pumpkin spice latte. So you can basically you can use the amla green coffee, and then you can make that latte. It's real tasty. You can make pumpkin spice granola. The pumpkin is so tasty in this granola, let me tell you. Okay, so you can use the pumpkin spice amla green and add it to that dish and make a really tasty one. Hummus. Who knew you could make hummus pumpkin flavored? That's pretty absurd. Okay, so that's another option. You can make pumpkin flavored muffins. Antioxidant rich pumpkin flavored muffins with no flour. What? You can make a warm smoothie that tastes like pumpkin goodness. Okay. If you're a pumpkin fan, you're going to love this one. Okay. Keep going. We got a spiderweb pumpkin soup. Okay. If you like the sort of squashy, pumpkin-y flavor, trust me, this is a very tasty soup. I would highly recommend it. Then you got some pumpkin spice mac and cheese. I'm sure Indigo would go nuts for that bad boy. Okay. And then there's a couple more recipes here, including a turmeric pumpkin soup. This one's actually real tasty. I think we might actually make this one for dinner tonight. And then there's a couple more recipes. So if you want this guide and you want to be able to make any of these foods in your diet, just write the word guide. You can either write the word guide or pumpkin in the chat box, and we'll hook you up and we'll send it over to you. Okay. So try this out. If you haven't had the pumpkin spice flavor before, I think you guys are going to like it a lot. It's really tasty. It's got that really like sort of cinnamony, all spicy, pumpkin goodness flavor that you get around Halloween time. Who doesn't love that? Let's go to some questions here. Diane says, I have caffeine in the morning, hibiscus for lunch, and elderberry for supper. I have caffeine in the morning. Okay. When you say you have caffeine in the morning, Diane, what does that mean? You have coffee? I'm curious. Okay. If that's the case, then that's cool. Hibiscus for lunch, love it. And elderberry for supper, love it. That's fantastic. Looks like you're 3xing every day, which is great. Okay, Ziegler says, amla green. Hi, these are the three I was tested for. GAD and islet cell was negative, and C-peptide was detectable. So my doctor says I am type 2. Were there any other tests I should have gotten to? Okay, so if GAD and islet cell were negative, that means that you're probably not autoimmune. That's not comprehensive, but at least those 2 antibodies that you are not autoimmune for, that's a good thing. If C-peptide was detectable, that's helpful, but I need to know what the number is, okay? Just saying I could detect C-peptide is not enough information. I need to know exactly what that number was. Was it between 0 and 1? Was it between 1 and 3? Or was it higher than 3? If you can give me that information, then I can help guide you as to what that actually means. Okay, looks like we got a bunch of people saying guide. Okay. Diane says, no, the caffeine amla green. So you're talking about the green amla green original flavor, which is great. I love it. If that's what you're doing, then fantastic. Again, you're getting 3 cups a day. I hope you're getting some serious metabolic benefit from that combination. Okay. Now, talk to me about this. When you guys go through flu season and cold season, do you guys actually get sick every year? Okay. If you get sick every year, write the word sick in the chat box. Okay. I want to know because we've sort of come to believe that getting sick on a yearly basis, like at least once a year, is just normal and that you're supposed to get sick and it happens every single year. And don't worry about it. It's just par for the course. But in reality, that may not actually be true. Okay. I've gone multiple years without getting sick, which is great. And I've actually talked to a lot of people who have gone 5, 10, 15 years without getting sick because they're using the power of their diet to boost their immune function. Okay. So Diane says no. Sorry, my fault. Rebecca says no. I don't get sick on a daily basis or on an annual basis, which is great. So let's keep it that way, Rebecca. That's definitely what we want to do. Okay. So what other questions do you guys have? Here's what I want to know. Okay. Drop them in the chat box. Let me know what you think. Let me know what questions you got. And write the word guide. I see a lot of people have written the word guide, which is great. If you got any other questions, you just let me know. Okay. I want you guys to go out there, have a great weekend. Enjoy being outside. Hopefully it's still relatively warm where you live. Comment the word pumpkin or write the word guide. We can send you that guide over there. And in the meantime, get as many antioxidants into your body as possible. Okay. Kathleen says, I purchased the almond green decaf tea and elderberry. Are there any ideas to make the elderberry taste a little bit better? How many times a day should you take for optimal results? Okay. So if you don't like the elderberry flavor, Kathleen, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, if you have any honey in your kitchen, just take like a half a teaspoon or something and just drop it into the tea. Usually when you do that, it just kind of gives it a little bit of a nicer flavor. And that's an easy way to change the flavor profile. Number two, you can take your elderberry, almond green, and you can add it to a smoothie. Okay. If you were to make a smoothie, it could be anything. It could be like bananas and mangoes. It could be beets and celery. It could be apples and carrots and ginger, whatever you want to put into your smoothie. There's 1,000 different ideas. If you took the almond green elderberry and stuck it inside of there, the taste would disappear because the smoothie flavor is what you would actually detect. Okay. So that's a simple way to just kind of make it disappear. Okay. Kathleen says, I'm a beekeeper. Well, look at that. Marriage. Perfect. Okay. And then appeal on fruits. What do you think? I don't know what that means. Appeal on fruits. What do you think? Are you asking me if I should eat the peel or take off the peel? Rebecca, if you wouldn't mind clarifying, that'd be very helpful. I would love to know what you're thinking. Okay. And then in the meantime, again, have a great weekend. Enjoy being out. Hopefully it's sunny. And we will see you next time. We'll be here next week, same time, same place. And can't wait to see you guys. Okay, last thing here is Rebecca says, chemical to make fruits last longer. Chemical to make fruits last longer. Appeal on fruits. What do you think? Again, I don't think I fully understand your question. If you're asking about, should you put a chemical on your fruits to last longer? The answer is no, don't do that. If you're asking me what is the chemical that they put on fruits to make them last longer, I don't know the answer to that. To keep from spoiling. I don't know. I don't know how to answer your question. It's a good question. Bring it back next week and we can talk about it more. Cool. All right. In the meantime, I'll see you guys next week. Have a great week.